Hey there, I'm Dr. Josie DeVideo. I'm a longtime dentist, a registered yoga teacher, and a certified wellness consultant. Welcome to Effortless Ease, a no-fuss restorative practice for busy dentists. In this practice today, we're going to use our yoga props. We're going to use a yoga bolster, 2 yoga blankets, and 1 yoga block. If you don't already own these, fear not, you can use household items to do this practice today. You can use a firm pillow, beach towels, and maybe an Amazon box or a stack of books. I know you have those to prop up your bolster, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But I do highly encourage you to purchase some yoga props because they do support the dental body in a great way during yoga practice. So I will provide a link to the yoga props that I like in the description of this video. But in the meantime, grab your props or grab your household items and then pause this video to get that all set up and then meet me back on the mat. Okay, now in this practice today, we're going to set up our props in a certain way, and then we're going to leave them there, and you and I are going to move our body around the props. This restorative practice, in fact, many restorative practices are usually done quietly, in silence, without music. And so I would suggest that for you today, but if you're thinking, yeah, there's no way that's going to happen, I have also provided a playlist that you might want to listen to while doing this practice, and that link can be found in the description of this video. All right, so let's get started. We'll set up our props first. So place one of your blankets off to the side. We might put this under our knees if our knees are sensitive, or behind our knees if we're having a hard time sitting back. I'll show you that in a second. But first, place your yoga block on the medium height. So if this is tall and this is the lowest, this would be medium. So medium height, and then place your bolster on top of that. And we're going to use this other blanket as a little pillow. So for our first pose, we're going to do child's pose. Get your body as close to the bolster as you can. Right, sort of straddling the bolster, big toes touch, and then your knees are on either side of the bolster. So again, if your knees are sensitive, you can place the blanket underneath here, or if you're having a hard time sitting back on your heels, then you can use this blanket to create some space that might make it more comfortable for your body. And then just slowly lower your torso down to the bolster, and then place your cheek on the blanket. And we're just going to sit here for a moment. Now, I want you to notice my arms, my forearms. Palms are facing down. Bring your palms to face up. That creates a little external rotation in your arms, and that's the opposite of what we're doing all day when we're in dentistry. So do a little external rotation in the arms, palms up, and then just place your head on the pillow. Adjust this blanket pillow however you need to feel comfortable. So you might need to do this. This might be tall for some people, but just test it out and see what feels good for your body. Okay, so this feels pretty good for me. And then we're just going to stay here for 3 to 5 breaths, and then we're going to turn our head. So go ahead and set yourself up. And see if you can sit your tush back onto your heels a little bit more. See if you can release your lower back. And then when you're ready, we're going to turn our head to the other side. Maybe you notice when you turn your head that you need to adjust your little pillow here. Go ahead and do that. Notice how your neck feels from one side to the other. And notice it without judgment. Just something to notice to become more aware of your body. And palms facing up. And then when you feel about even, place your palms on the mat. Push your torso away from the bolster. We're going to remove this blanket from the backs of our legs, and then we're going to bring our left hip to the bolster and see if you can stagger your knees a little bit. So with our hip touching the bolster, we're just going to slide our left hand down this little blanket and then see if you can lay your body on the bolster and your head on the blanket. Then extend your top leg out and see if you can keep it stretched out and balancing you on the bolster. And then bring your top hand overhead and just invite in this long stretch into your body. And breathe. And then drawing your top hand back, placing it in front of you for some balance and leverage here. Draw your top leg in, staggering your knees. Lift your torso away from the bolster. Place a hand on either side of the bolster. And we're going to start to twist so that we can place the front of our torso onto the bolster. And then turn your head so that your nose is pointing away from your knees. And then again, placing your forearms with the palms facing up on your mat. And then when you're ready, place your palms on the mat. Lift your torso away from the bolster. Pausing here for a moment, and we're going to do the other side. So placing the right hip up against the bolster, staggering your knees. Take your right hand, slide it along the blanket, placing your head on the blanket, extending the top leg out for some balance and stretch. And then drawing your top hand up and over, inviting in that stretch into the side body. Then drawing your top hand around, placing it on the mat in front of you, pressing into the palm, lifting your torso away from the bolster, staggering your knees. Hands on either side of the bolster, and we're going to twist so that our torso is facing the bolster. Placing your head on the pillow so that your nose is facing away from your knees. And then palms up on the mat. And then when you're ready, pressing into your palms, lifting your torso away from the bolster and sliding your feet so that they're up slope, placing your legs on the bolster. And then we're going to lean ourselves back, coming onto our forearms, and then lean ourselves back onto the mat. All right, from here we might want to scoot our tush in towards the bolster. And then pause here for a moment with your palms facing up. Taking a deep breath in, exhale. Now bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet to touch while your feet stay on the bolster. And allow your knees to hang off of the bolster for a little Baddha Konasana stretch. If this is too much or too intense for you, you can certainly extend your legs again and stay as you were. We're just going to be here for a few breaths. And then using your hands to draw your knees back towards each other. Extend your legs out, flexing your feet. Point and flex, getting some stretch in the back of the legs. And then keeping your feet flexed so that your toes are pointed towards the sky. Draw your hands up overhead, palms facing each other, and then draw your hands behind you. Energetically press your fingertips towards the wall, feeling another stretch. And then draw your hands back alongside you. You can keep your palms facing up or turn them facing down and just release your feet. And we'll move into a mini Shavasana. Now, if you're enjoying Shavasana in this position, feel free to stay here. If you're ready to end our practice today, go ahead and bend your knees, placing the soles of the feet on the bolster, and pause here for a moment. And then roll over to one side, using your hands to create a pillow for your neck and head. Taking a deep breath in, exhale. And then using your hands to press yourself up and come into a comfortable seated position. You can keep your eyes closed or with a soft, gentle gaze. Tall spine. See if you can bring your head over your heart and your heart over your hips. And then placing your hands over your heart on top of each other. The light in me bows down to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this effortless ease, no fuss restorative practice for busy dentists. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that I know to create more content like this for you. And then share this with a dental friend who might benefit from it as well. Be well, friends.